Is it loving that he has us in this situation now? Because if he's like, how is that loving? Why wouldn't he just Adam sin? They poof put it back. Like, why do we have to say that now? Because that's not
I
loving.
know.
We are going to talk about that.
It
Oh, go
seems
on.
that no.
It's in the book. That's a good question. It's
No,
an excellent
that's
question. Yeah,
that's a question that a lot of people have. Most people have that. I think why is this happening?
Yeah, nighttime I see diamonds in the sky. Daytime I see sunlight shining bright. If I'm alive, how can I not testify of your love, your love, your love? Yeah, your love, your love, your love. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Truth Prevails. I'm in North Carolina right now, visiting some Jehovah Witness family, trying to talk to them. But I just wanted to give you this video. This video is from the study I had, and we're talking about do Jehovah Witness serve a limited God? Is their God limited in knowledge? And is he unjust? So, like, comment, and share, and tell me what you think. God bless. And you said
The meaning of the words.
you don't think he's gonna create a new Earth, right?
No.
But like, how did you come to that conclusion? If it doesn't derail you, I don't know.
So the Bible talks about the earth being here forever, the physical earth. So we're not talking about the people anymore. We're talking about the trees, the water, the land, the mountains. Do you think Jehovah what was his original purpose?
He wanted to create us. Yeah, he created us
Yeah, what did he want us to do with the physical earth?
to populate it, and
And so we're talking about, is his purpose changed?
maybe it did after we sinned, after Adam sinned.
So it adjusted a little bit, but has his purpose for this physical earth to become a paradise, has that changed?
I think it would have to if he didn't know, like, did he know that Adam and Eve would sin?
No, he didn't. So his purpose, Jehovah's purposes, always get fulfilled because they're his purposes. Obviously, Satan and Adam and Eve threw a wrench in that, but he didn't change his purpose. He still wanted humans to live on this earth in a paradise earth. So does Jehovah want to destroy the physical trees, the actual earth, the land, the continents we live on, the water? Does he want that to be gone? Let me think about you. Like, if you created a beautiful house and your purpose was for that to be lived in, but it gotten into some disrepair. You had some tenants that maybe lived in there for a little while and it was kind of going to junk for a bit. Would you just completely knock the house down with the people in it and start from scratch? Or would you get the people out and then maybe repair the house? I mean, you put maybe years into that house to make it the way that you want to make it. It's a perfect house. It just needs to be repaired a little bit. What would you do?
Well, I don't know how long it took God to make the earth, but it's if God didn't know Adam and Eve would sin, that would make him limited in knowledge, no? Because isn't he all knowing?
That's a good question.
So what did that?
And I've had people ask me that before. But if he knew that they were going to sin, why would he create them?
Because it was like his glory. Wouldn't he still get glory if he saved them and gave them a way to be reconciled back to him, and now he gets the glory from that?
But remember how God created individuals. He gave us free will.
Mm-hmm.
So we could make the decision to worship him or not.
Exactly. So when he gave him that decision, wouldn't he know, okay, they're going to sin at one point?
There may
and
be.
then I'm going to make a plan to save them.
He would only make a plan if it happened. He didn't pre-plan.
So it's kind of, so is that like,
Okay, he's like, okay, this happened. Okay, this is what we're going to do now.
so you don't think he kind of knew that was going to happen and already had a plan in place for it?
No.
Well, no, because in the in the Bible, when you read the account in Genesis, he had created, before he created man, what else? What existed?
Everything, like the planet.
Planet, were there other beings? Angels, right?
The angels, yeah.
The angels were there.
Yeah.
So he had created angels, and then he created man. But what happened with Adam and Eve?
Sin.
Did they decide that they were just going to do something, or were they influenced by outside?
They're doing the seed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was other things. There was a bad angel deceived them. So that wasn't God's plan.
But how can God be all-knowing and not know that?
So he chooses to see into the future when he wants to, but he doesn't dictate his decisions based on what's going to happen in the future. He doesn't say, okay, well, I know for a fact that you're going to make a mistake. I'm still going to go ahead and do this anyways, because it's going to come back to me. I'm going to look good from this. That would be kind of unjust, wouldn't it? Because what did Satan and Adam and Eve sin? What did it cause throughout the thousands of years that we've been alive?
Oh, death and sin.
Death, suffering, wars. Do you think that was Jehovah's original purpose as we've been discussing this? What did he originally want?
I think he wanted that,
mm-hmm.
but with free will, I think he knew we was gonna sin. Something to think about. I think he knew he was gonna sin, and then he knew what was going to come with the death and the death and sin, the sin nature, and then he made a plan. So it's kind of like if he didn't know, it's kind of like he was scrambling. He created Adam and Eve. They sin, then it's kind of like, what next? And then, so what if he sends Jesus and that doesn't work? So it's like, wouldn't he have to know? If he's all knowing, all powerful, that's like a limit. That's like a limited God. That's like that's not an all powerful God.
Well,
still is all powerful.
He's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like he's not all knowing then.
He's all knowing because he can know whatever he chooses to know, but he didn't shield us from the consequences of the decisions that we made. He didn't like say, okay, this is what they're going to do. No. He allowed us to make mistakes because we can learn from them. This is going to happen. This is going to be a lesson that mankind can learn, and it will never have to be repeated again. So once God's purpose has been fulfilled and mankind is living the life that God intended him to live, what if something like this happened again? The same thing wouldn't play out. It was already proven what would happen. We know what would happen. Mankind can't rule themselves. So that would be eliminated.
You got to think about God's his major qualities, right? Wisdom, love, justice, power. So he's definitely powerful, right? He created everything. Would it be wise for him to have created Adam and Eve, knowing that they would sin and knowing that it was going to cause thousands of years of suffering? Would that be a wise decision? If you were going to create a weapon that you knew was going to kill hundreds of people, would that be wise of you to do?
Well, I think it would be wise in the sense in a sense where it wasn't God that caused us sin. He gave us free will.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave us that free will. We sinned, and he said, "I'm gonna make a way for it. Don't worry about it. I will provide the way so this won't. So you can be delivered from this."
Absolutely, yeah. And when you think about wisdom, how wise was that process for him to have a person to come, give his life as a ransom? When you think about that whole process that he put in place, and you called it scrambling earlier, I call it knowledge and putting a plan in place. So when something happens that it's unexpected to you, You say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to come up with a plan and we're going to make it work. We're talking about a thousands of years span to make his plan work. And he's worked it out across the entire Bible, across thousands of years. That's ultimate wisdom, to know that in the future, it's going to end up in this beautiful paradise. It's going to end up in my purpose, even though there are forces against me.
Now, you say they made that plan in place. Now, did he? That's what I would say. Amen. But okay, Adam and Eve sinned, and now does he sit down and make that plan? If he had limited knowledge, he has to sit down and make that plan. But if he already foreknows, okay, at one point they're going to sin, I'm going to have this plan in place. Then he can just reveal it out, like when it happens in Genesis 3. Then he says, okay, you did this, but this is going to happen. So when Adam and Eve sins, if he doesn't know, how long does it take him to make that plan? And how do we know that plan is going to be accurate?
Well, does Jehovah does he think that we're automatically going to fail? Like when he created Adam and Eve, did he want them to fail?
No,
he didn't. Right? He has confidence in us. He gave his son because he has confidence that we can change our lives and be better and be servants of him. He has confidence in his creation. He had the same confidence in Adam and Eve, but at the same time, he maybe had known that yes, we gave them free will. He gave them a rule not to do something. He probably knew in the back of his mind, there is a chance that they could break that rule. He probably knew that. But it would show a lack of confidence if he came up with a plan fully in place. Okay, if this happened, if they do eat from the fruit, I have to now I have to now come up with a new plan. I have to have one in place already. It would show a lack of confidence in humans that they could actually obey him. The fact that they did it certainly disappointed him, right?
Yeah. Now, that's what I'm saying. Do you think he kind of, do you think he 100% knew, or he kind of did? He was kind of iffy on it.
The Bible doesn't say.
Yeah, we don't. It doesn't tell us his thinking on the matter. It just
says what happened at that time. Like you mentioned Genesis 3. It just says what happened and then what he did.
That's sort of like the gap. How long it took him? If he was limited in knowledge, and he didn't know that, I wonder how long it took him to make that plan, and how certain was he in that plan that plan would succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we only know what was in that first thing, but when you get to know the personality of God a little bit more through the scriptures, you'll see that he didn't, create us with the knowledge that Adam and Eve were going to disobey him. That would have been, first of all, unloving, would have been unwise, and he could have saved a lot of grief if he did that. He would have just made us as robots if he just wanted us to just have an earth, enjoy it. Could have created us without any free will. We still could have taken care of the earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we see his main quality is love.
Yeah.
And in the way we're created, it shows how he loves us, because we make our own decisions. We can choose to serve him, but everything about us just shows all the love that he has in his creation, because we can see, we have colors, we can smell, we can have relationships with people, we have friends. Just everything about us shows how he wanted us to be. He wanted us to be happy and enjoy living on a beautiful paradise earth. But what Adam and Eve did was they didn't obey him. So after that, he made a plan so that what he purposed for us, to enjoy living on a paradise earth with all these qualities that he's given us, seeing, smelling, tasting, thinking, enjoying relationships with people, having a family, all these things, that is going to happen. He's like, okay, this is what happened here. Did he plan on that happening? He didn't plan on it happening. It happened. Did he see that it was going to happen? He didn't say that it was. And what I think doesn't really matter, because I'm only going to say what he said. But he put a plan in place for us to get back to what he planned. And it certainly just shows the love he has for creation. I mean, he's the Almighty, and we're like dust on the scales. And so to give us just what he gives us now, we can be happy about. What do you think?
I think even if he knew they was gonna sin, it would still be loving. Obviously, death and sin will come into the world, but God says, "I knew you when you was in your mother's womb." I think he knows, and he still gets glory from even when there's destruction and ruin in the world. Because if you still have the choice now. He hasn't abandoned us. He has given us the choice to say, you have two choices now. You can either follow the bad or you can follow good, and I would still protect you. Things might happen to you, but understand I have made a way, and there's going to be a time where this is not going to be like this anymore. They sinned, but he still gets the glory because now people are still worshiping him and following him and living out the way he wanted to live out to their best ability. But it's just something I was thinking about, because if we have that limit in them, it is questions about the future. So I just wanted to see how you guys thought about it.
Yeah.
And just think about.
Yeah, I don't feel that he's limited, that he has a limit. I mean, the Bible explains how he's had no beginning, no end. We're humans. We have the brain that we have. We can't expect to understand everything about a being that's been in existence from no time. It's tough to say. Never mind think about it.
Yeah.
But yes, that's his plan.
Yeah.
We make mistakes now, but we have the opportunity to. Things aren't gonna, like you said, things aren't always gonna be this way. So we have the choice whether to serve him or not, and that's something. And yes, people worship him.
Mm-hmm. But you would think it would be unjust if he knew and he created us and knew that we would sin. You think that'd be unjust?
I think it would be unjust. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you knew that what you were going to do would ultimately end in the suffering of billions of people, your creation that you've created, I don't think a creator that's loving would do that.
I mean, you look at people. We don't think about that too in our lives. Like, we get married, we don't expect to get divorced. We just plan on getting married and building a future with someone. But the statistics show that this is how many people get divorced who get married. So to say that, well, statistics show that, all these people get divorced, we really shouldn't get married. That's not how we think. Because we believe in this. We believe in this person. And we try to work together. There are things that cause people to get divorced. But it's not something that you plan on, right? A divorce isn't a planned on thing.
No.
It's not something you think about getting married. You don't think about getting divorced, right?
But if you had that knowledge,
you wouldn't get married to that person.
You can read some more. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's good to. That's something good to do some research on.
Ryan, no question. I said.
But in the Bible, no question's bad. But we can only go on what the scriptures say. To put we can go on what we know about God and make, assumptions. But at the end of the day, it's what's in God's word. We know that He created a purpose after Adam and Eve sinned. We know that this is His purpose. That's what the Bible says. So if we were to kind of speculate on what He thought beforehand or what He's thinking, we really can't know what He's thinking at every second, right? Because He's a being that's far beyond what we think. So we just know what He's given us in the Bible, and that's really where we want to focus on.
Mm-hmm. So do you think it could still be an option that He knew, since there's no real verse that say He didn't know, right? Do you think that could be an option that He didn't know?
This is where you think about His qualities, and you come to know Jehovah as a person and as a creator, and then you, through that knowledge, can decide whether or not he would do something like that or not.
Yeah, do look at his qualities. One is all knowing.
Power, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's powerful. So he created humans, yeah. But it doesn't mean that he knows everything that's going to happen every single day. He hasn't predestined your life. He hasn't predestined me and Terrence's life and told us everything that we're going to do in the next 40 years. He has the ability to know that. But doesn't someone with ultimate power, they're able to choose how they use that power?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he created humans with free will and the ability to do what they want without him being controlled, I feel like it would be him saying, well, I already know what you're going to do. You don't really have free will because I've created you. Now you're going to make this decision. You'd be puppets. You would already know that you were going to be imperfect. So why would God create his children knowing that they were going to sin? To me, that would be something that would be unloving. So you got to kind of encapsulate all of his qualities into one: power, wisdom, love, justice. All of his qualities have to match up in some point. So when you look at his decisions, do all of those things match up into that thought process, or does only one? Okay, he's powerful. Yes, he does know everything. But would it be loving? Would it be wise? Would it have been just? No. So that means that you couldn't think like that. So as you continue to get to know Jehovah and who he is, you kind of can reason on some things. But the Bible doesn't say if he had pre-knowledge of any of that, pre-knowledge of things. He does foretell the future in certain circumstances, but in the Bible, there's only a certain amount of prophecies. He doesn't foretell everything, right?
Yeah.
There's only, maybe a few hundred prophecies in the Bible.
And we just think about what he wants for us. I mean, he gave us the Bible as a guide in life. So if he doesn't tell us in the Bible,
is it loving that he has us in this situation now? Because if he's like, how is that loving? Why wouldn't he just Adam sinned? They poof, put it back. Like, why do we have to say that now? Because that's not.
I know.
It seems that
no.
It's in the book. That's a good question.
No,
it's an excellent question. Yeah,
that's a question that a lot of people have. Most people have that. That's like, why is this happening?
So if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you serve a limited God that didn't know, and it caused so many problems for your theology, especially when you read the Bible. You gotta really cross out verses, and that's not the God of the Bible. We don't serve a limited God that created and didn't know his creation. And that doesn't make sense. God's all-knowing. He knew what was going to happen, but he still gets the glory from it. That's the glorious thing. So, I beat this question to death with them to show them, and hopefully as a witness you see where this thinking falls short. Stop believing these men and, run to God. It's sad. So, like, comment, and share. Tell me what you think. God bless.